Ladies and gentlemen, the final pitch of the baseball season is almost upon us. It's getting cold, and I can feel it in the air. It's time for hot stove baseball, and this is honestly my favorite time of the year. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a long time, but we're getting back into it, and we're ready for the off season. So, last off season, I did do a little bit of hot stove talk. Later on in the off season, I wanted to test the waters. And from what I did, like one episode and worked on a second, didn't end up making it out. But from what I've done, I really, really enjoyed the process. I enjoyed the editing. I enjoyed all of it. So I wanted to come back before the hot stove this season and really get into it. So we're going to start it off today with some talks on Juan Soto going to the Yankees, possibly. We're going to talk about. There's going to be a decent amount of Yankee talk, by the way, just to get things started, just to get the ball rolling. We're going to talk about Kyle Higashioka and Ben Rortvedt possibly on the move this offseason. We're going to talk about Aaron Judge winning the Roberto Clemente Award. And I also want to talk about his comments that he's made about the team, about possible offseason moves that they may be making, with him talking with Hal Steinbrenner and so on and so forth. And I also wanted to discuss some ideas I had for some players or trades that Yankees can look into going into 2024. And as a bonus at the very end, we'll talk about Bob Melvin going to San Francisco and what that impact can have on that team moving forward. So we're going to get things started. This is TTT, Trade Talk Tonight. Now, we didn't want to get started with the Juan Soto stuff just because of the fact that it's the big talk right now, aside from everything that's going on with the World Series. I mean, as of the recording of this, it is the morning of November 1st. So, in my opinion, Game 5 is going to be later on tonight. In my opinion, I think it's over. I think this is the final game. Do I hope Arizona wins and it goes back to Texas? I do. I hope they win. But after the whoop ass that they did tonight, it doesn't seem like that they're going to be coming back. Seems like the wind is completely knocked out of Arizona's sails. And it seems like Texas just has a stranglehold on the series. But I could be wrong. But we shall see. Like it said, only time will tell. But anyway, we're not here to talk about the World Series. We'll talk about that later when and if the Rangers win or whoever wins. We're here today to talk about some Yankee news, starting with the speculation and rumors surrounding Juan Soto and the Yankees. Now, I know it's been about a week or so since all this stuff started to come to fruition with Andy Martino and John Heyman and everything else happening. But I wanted to just throw in my 2 cents on the situation and what I think about it. Now, I'm just going to come out and say it. I think Juan Soto is a phenomenal baseball player on the field, off the field, in every way, shape, and form. And I would love to have him in the outfield or as a DH or wherever they want to put him. Now, in terms of a trade for Juan Soto, I'm not exactly going to be protective of a bunch of people. Because some people could say, oh, wouldn't you want to save Spencer Jones? Wouldn't you want to save this guy, that guy? For Juan Soto, I am willing to give up almost everybody. And I do mean almost. There are one or two pieces I would be very hesitant to move on from. And I know at least one of them is Jason Dominguez. I don't really know who that second one would be, but I feel like there's somebody that I'd be unsure on moving. Aside from the obvious, like Cole and Judge and so on. But I would honestly be willing to trade like 95% of the roster and the minor leagues for Juan Soto. Now, would it be tough? Is it going to be a hard pill to swallow if some other moves throughout aren't worked on? Yes, because probably one of the main points of this trade will be from pitching. So they'd have to really haul ass in terms of all the pitchers that they'd have to get rid of, but in the case for Juan Soto, I think that's required. Take a sip of tea. But probably have to give up guys like I've seen Mike King get thrown around. I've seen maybe Johnny Brito. I've seen some of the younger pitchers in the farm. I, honestly, with pitchers, with what the Yankees got, I wouldn't be annoyed with getting rid of any of the guys. I really wouldn't. There's not really anybody, again, aside from Cole, I would be like, no, don't get rid of him. It's like, is it, I mean, would it really care? Like, hell, honestly, they wouldn't do this, but even Rodon, like, yeah, we just gave him all that money, but, I mean, again, it all depends on if the Yankees can re-sign Soto. If they can re-sign him, then fucking go for it. But if they can't offer up an extension with him, I know Scott Boras is his agent, but if they're able to work up an extension, fucking send anybody over to San Diego. But we shall see. So next up on the docket, we got a new award to Mr. Aaron Judge. Congratulations to him. Is the Roberto Clemente Award for 2023. And if you don't know what the Roberto Clemente Award is, with a Google search, and I will give you a definition. The Roberto Clemente Award is given annually to the Major League Baseball player who, quote unquote, best exemplifies the game of baseball, sportsmanship, community involvement, and the individual's contribution to his team, as voted on by baseball fans and members of the media. So essentially, what you do off the field, as well as what you do on the field, essentially. And Aaron, with everything he does, and just the way that he goes about his business, he's a shoo-in for the award. I wouldn't be surprised if he won it more than once. And I'm happy that it went to such a great player and great person like Aaron. Just being able to watch from his first career game. I wasn't at the stadium for that, but I was watching it on TV, remembering the home run with Tyler Austin. I just knew even when he was getting brought up, I knew this kid was going to be special. I didn't know how special, but I knew he was going to be special. And then you just see all the achievements on the field. Rookie of the Year, 52 home runs after his horrid 2016. Almost leads the Yankees to a World Series, which I'm not going to get into. But if you know me, you know my opinions on the 17 and 19 postseason for certain reasons. But yeah, Aaron Judge over the years has just turned into a magnificent player, magnificent person, and overall great teammate, and just seems like a great friend. So I don't think that that award could have gone to honestly a better person than Aaron. So congratulations to him, well deserved. And also, Aaron was in the news on the New York Post with some of his comments made about the Yankees and about some um, possible acquisitions that they may have been in process of making, at least hopefully. Let's see. Let's see if I could find it. Judge was asked if he was surprised there hadn't been any changes yet. Quote by Judge, I think they're working on that. It's a tough time, especially with the World Series going on, but I think once we get past this and through the offseason is when we're going to see bigger moves. We still got lots of time, but I know they're busy working. Literally since our season ended, I know they've been working down there in Tampa. They're working hard, and I'm looking forward to getting some updates. End quote. Quote again, we haven't made it to the big dance in quite a few years, so we've got some work to do, especially even on the players' side. We've got a lot of work to do on the players' side. I'm looking forward to hopefully getting us back to the promised land with some good ones. End quote. I'm just happy that somebody from this organization is finally taking a stand and saying, hey, we need to get better. Like, it feels like everybody's just on autopilot for the last couple years. And especially with the quote, I'm going to be honest, I've said this quote multiple times, but the fact that they've said it so much, it makes me not want to even say it anymore. And the quote for me is, in regards to the playoffs, just get in. And the fact that the Yankees have taken that so literally is beyond me. And yes, I understand the last couple years, you got the Diamondbacks getting only 2 more wins than the Yankees this year, and they're playing in the World Series. Not very well, but they're in the World Series nonetheless. You got the Phillies last year in the 6th seed, the very last seed, and they made it all the way to the World Series. So it is possible to make it to the big dance, even on a season that isn't exactly the greatest. But, I mean, you still got to put a good team on the field, man. You got to put a good team on the field in order to, try and compete to get there. You can't just show up to the dance thinking you're going to hit it off with the hottest girl there. It's not going to work. You got to work on yourself. You got to work on improving different aspects to make yourself a better person, or in this case, a better team. Judge has said it. Garrett Cole has said it. It's like there are so many pieces wrong with this organization. It doesn't make any sense why they don't try to make better moves. They just seem like they always try and go for the bargain bin. They always try and go for the piece that's been shitty for the last 2 seasons, and they're like, oh, let's try and make this guy better. There's not many pieces that they've done that correctly, and there's one guy in mind that comes to it, and that's Clay Holmes. I think Clay is the only guy that they've taken that was crappy with Pittsburgh and turned him into for the most part, a lethal weapon out of the pen. No one else they've done that with. I'm sorry. Willie Calhoun was a bust. Jake Bowers was a bust. Billy McKinney was all right for a couple weeks. It's like you're trying to grab these guys when it's like, no. You're not the Oakland A's trying to find budget pieces. You're the Yankees with the top 3 biggest payroll in all of baseball. And you're looking like the Oakland A's. Like, what is going on here? And the fact of the matter is, I am like a bunch of other Yankee fans. We're done with it. I love going to Yankee games. I do. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love looking forward to going. I only go a few times a year just to keep the magic going to the stadium. Plus, tickets are beyond expensive nowadays, so it's hard to get a lot of tickets. I would love to go to opening day. Just went to my first opening day this past season. I do not want to buy any tickets until they show me this team is worth buying tickets for. And obviously nothing has happened yet, but I'm waiting. I will say though, like the previous bullet point with the Soto stuff, if they pull out a deal for Juan Soto, that's not going to guarantee me buying opening day tickets, but it will definitely push me in the right direction. Because it shows that they want to do better. They want to put fans in the stands, and they want to win. I would hope. You're not going to get rid of 4 maybe 5 pretty good talent in the majors or in the minors, and then just be fine with a fucking 85 win season. But then again, it's the Yankees and Hal Steinbrenner, so I have no idea anymore. Okay. Moving on to my third point uh, about Kyle Higashioka and Ben Rortvedt possibly being on the move. Now, I'm not going to lie, having 4 catchers be major league ready is a lot. I've seen major league teams have 3 catchers on the roster, and it makes sense. You have your backup, you have your starter, and then you just have like more or less like a backup. It seems like a lot, but in a sense, I can understand it. Um, but in terms of the Yankees, 4 are all ready to be major league starters. Higgy has done it. He's been okay. Rortvedt, I don't know if he'd be a starter. The bat is just not there as of now. The glove is there. Trevi has been decent when he's healthy, and Austin Wells has shown good promise. But I'm gonna be honest. Out of the 2, I would rather get rid of Kyle. If Cole wins the Cy Young this year, I don't know how you get rid of Ben Rortvedt. Ben and Cole have really worked together within the last 15 starts. They were tremendous as a pair. So I don't know how you sell him right after or right around the time Cole possibly wins an award. Then again, I'm not the Yankees. It's not like I don't know. I think Cole and Wells will be fine, but we'll see. I I don't know. It's not like I'm really gonna lose sleep over losing Higgy or Rortvedt. I think they've done their time. I think they've been great pieces to the organization. But I think if you're able to get some either bullpen pieces or some platoon pieces for these guys, I think it can help in the long term. So as much as I'd want to keep Higgy as like a backup to Wells or whoever, I think it's time to move on. I think a lot of pieces we need to try and move on from, unfortunately, in some aspects. You know what? I was gonna go on to another point, but we're gonna break off into this. But there are way too many contracts that the Yankees have over the years. I mean, you signed DJ LeMahieu to a contract extension. You signed, well, they didn't sign him, but they have Stanton's major contract to deal with. You have so many contracts. Gleyber Torres is possibly one contract that may be added, or he gets traded. I don't know. You got so many contracts for so many years from these guys. It's a little ridiculous to say the least for how much money and how many contracts you have in these guys that aren't exactly youngsters. A bunch of them are over the age of 30. Let's see. Let's see how many players they have under contract that are young. 0. They have nobody under contract long term that's under the age of 30. Which is, I'm not going to lie, is a little upsetting. They don't have many guys that you really would give a big contract to, but there are some people that I could see them giving a contract to. For example, as of now, I would give a big contract to Jason Dominguez. I would pull a Ronald Acuna, give him a big contract. You don't have to put that. You don't have to put a big chunk of change to him. You sort of bet on yourself. If he's a superstar, then you save a shit ton of money. And if he's just average, if he's good, then you have them, and you're not going to worry about losing them for at least a little bit. But it all depends on what they want to do. So, yeah. Now going into my fourth point, or fifth now. Blueprints for 2024 with the organization. I'm not sure. I've had thoughts, I've had ideas on this team in the past, but it's like I don't know what direction they want to go in, because I've seen them do great things in the offseason, and I've seen them do oogats. So I don't know what direction they're going. They seem like they want to win. They seem like they want to make moves. But I know the organization. I know the owner. I know the GM. They've been the same for who knows how long. So I'm honestly, I'm not getting excited until I see in definitive proof something happen. Sure, the rumors and speculation of Juan Soto being possibly going to the Yankees is exciting. But until I see a JP Morosi X post or tweet or whatever the fuck you want to call it, that, or whoever, of Juan Soto going somewhere, hopefully to the Yankees, it's official, then I'll get excited. Or it's like, it's getting close, stuff like that. But I'm trying to really step back and not get as excited just because I don't want to be disappointed anymore. I feel like this team has disappointed me so much over the last 5 years that it's ridiculous. Yeah, it'll be 5 years. Really, since 2019, after that whole debacle, really has disappointed me. Like, I've had exciting times, but it just, I don't know. It hasn't been the same as what it was. So do I hope they try and fork the money and get a Yamamoto from Japan, or get a Cody Bellinger, or get somebody like that? I do. Do I think it'll happen? I think they'll work on getting Yamamoto. I think that's a high possibility. I don't think they get Cody Bellinger. I don't. And honestly, I think part of the reason is because of the fact that they may try and save some money for a couple years down the line, is what I'm hoping. I could be completely wrong on this, but I wouldn't be surprised if they start saving some international money now for Murakami in 26 or whenever he's posted. Because he is, I don't know how he is as a defender, but I've seen in his year last year in 22, that season he had in Japan was unbelievable. 56 home runs, I want to say, broke the Japanese single season home run record that stood for so many years. I believe it was broken a couple years ago by Vladimir Valentin, I want to say. But he's the first born Japanese player to break the record. And it's pretty impressive what he's able to do when he's right. So I don't know what the Yankees are going to do. But honestly, I hope they really put their best foot forward, because they're going to lose a lot of fans if they don't. So, moving on to the final point of this first episode. And it's not going to be about the Yankees, it's about the Giants. The San Francisco Giants, excuse me. It's going to be about Bob Melvin. Abandoning ship in San Diego, sort of keeping the Padres theme, and heading to San Francisco to be the manager. Now, honestly, I think that's a phenomenal move. I think Bob Melvin is a great manager. I think he always has been. I just think the Padres last year had way too many voices, had too many personalities in that clubhouse. They weren't a team, they were 26 personalities. They weren't 26 players to work together. That's personally what I think. Could I be wrong? Yes. I don't watch Padres baseball. I live on the East Coast. I'm not exactly paying attention about San Diego baseball, but just knowing the players they have in that locker room, the star power they have is incredible. But they all have personalities. They all have egos. Sander Bogarts, Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado, um, Blake Snell. That they just have so many personalities that don't mesh. I feel like a lot of it, personally for me, I feel like a lot of it is about statistics rather than putting the team first. I could be wrong, like I keep saying, but that's just what I feel and what it seems to me. I think Bob Melvin really could have a good impact on the Giants. They are a younger team. They don't have that many superstars. So I think the fact that Melvin, who did play with the Giants back in his heyday, plus I think he really can have an impact on the younger guys, helping them out as they um, work into the big leagues more. So we'll have to wait and see how Bob does his first year in San Francisco, but I think it's going to be a good move. And I hope the Giants make it back to the playoffs. They were exciting in the early 2010s with all their runs and their championships. So I hope they make it back there soon. They were exciting to watch, and I'm rooting for them. So with that, that's going to be a wrap on episode 1 of TTT Trade Talk tonight. There will be plenty more of these throughout the offseason. Don't you worry. I feel like I've said that plenty of times, but this time, since because it's so early on in the offseason, actually, it's not even the offseason yet. When I'm recording this, it's before the World Series is even over. But I think I'm planning on posting it around the time the World Series is going to end. We'll see. But yeah, I'm excited for off-season baseball. There will be a lot more coming on the channel in the near future, so stay tuned for that. So, yeah, thank you guys for listening to an all audio version. There is no video for this episode. I want to test the waters with audio and podcasting and stuff like that, and I want to see how it goes. So, yeah, thank you guys, and hopefully I'll be back soon for episode 2.